Academy. Welcome back to the Waiver Wire pickups for Week 7. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. We come to that time of week where managers look to improve their rosters with the top waiver wire pickups for Week 7. Looking at the NFL fantasy stars over the weekend, I'd say that you're looking for some wide receivers or quarterbacks. Those managers hoping to rid themselves of the curse of Baker Mayfield, look no further. I got some options for you. There are plenty of options. Those looking for a replacement running back, well, good luck. As I explained through the drafting strategies main statement, draft running backs early and often. But first, let's take a look at the latest injury updates from the NFL this weekend. Devontae Parker suffered a groin injury. Mark Ingram went out with an ankle injury. A pair of Eagles sat out the second half of the game with Zach Ertz having an ankle injury and Miles Sanders with knee injury problems, both expected to miss some time. And finally, Raheem Mostert left the second half with an ankle injury as well. The silver lining though, no canceled games due to COVID this week. Let's knock on some wood. Let's go ahead and take a look at the waiver wire for quarterbacks. Justin Herbert of the Chargers is rostered in 45% of leagues, and he's my top pickup at quarterback. People will cool on him due to his bye week, but now it's time to roster the dynamic signal caller. Since taking over in Week 2, Herbert ranks as QB7 according to Fantasy Pros. Yes, he needs to avoid sacks, but he more than makes up for it with his big arm and big ability to find the end zone. My next pickup is Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's rostered in half of ESPN leagues. And this weekend's performance lacked touchdowns from Joe Burrow, a trend that continues to stack from week to week. However, even though finding the end zone continues to be a problem, the young Bengals QB managed to add yet another 300-yard or more to his resume. Look for Joe Burrow to find the end zone this weekend against the Cleveland Browns, who allow the 9th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. My last quarterback for the waiver wire pickup for Week 7 is Andy Dalton. First, Week 5 marked the first sighting of Andy Dalton calling the shots when he abruptly subbed for Dak Prescott mid-game. With that being said, Andy Dalton starts tonight's game knowing he's in charge. They have an orchestra of talent surrounding him, and I expect him to perform admirably with possible waiver wire potential. So look at him tonight and you make the call. Moving on to the waiver wire for running backs, La'Mical P. Ryan. Running backs for the waiver wire belong on the side of a milk carton. Where are all the running backs? I'm left with P. Ryan and Gore for crying out loud as the top waiver wire pickups for Week 7. Now normally, I see clear running backs with bad teams, but I'm left with limited options here, so I guess here we go. If the rebuilding is the goal of the Jets, then La'Mical P. Ryan should see more work as the season progresses. But we're dealing with Adam Gase here. Which brings me to my next one, Frank Gore. The Jets should not start Frank Gore. However, the Jets prove that they think on a different level than most. Adam Gase continues his employment with no ground to stand on. Some wonder if this employment relates to the growing tank for Trevor movement. The longer Gase remains in charge, the more chances of them getting the overall number 1 pick. However, I believe the writing is on the wall, and Gase will lean on the experience of Gore to keep him afloat until the ship inevitably sinks. So good luck. All right, who's ready for another running back from a crummy team? J.D. McKissic. Now, selecting J.D. McKissic last week resulted in a top 10 running back finish. Not too bad for a waiver wire pickup. Take the gift and don't ask questions. The top 10 finish derived from a season-high point total, though, so I don't expect the course to continue. However, the Washington football team continues to fight from behind. Their receiving core lacks talent, and the same could be said for their quarterback. They rank as a team 30th in the supporting cast efficiency metric found at Player Profiler. Case in point, the team needs safety valves for the quarterback to utilize, and who else is there than J.D. McKissic? And here we move on to the waiver wire for wide receivers, the bread and butter. Here we go. Travis Fulgham of the Eagles. I salute Travis Fulgham as he embarks on a journey beyond the waiver wire column. he added another outstanding performance to his resume. Fulgham warrants a roster spot in all league formats. First, he caught 6 of 10 targets for 75 yards and a touchdown, demonstrating that last week's high of 13 targets was no outlier. Moreover, this weekend's marks the third game in which he has caught a touchdown pass in a row. If he remains under 50% rostered, I swear I'm going to lose my cool. Just kidding. Seriously, pick him up. T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals. Again, I'm writing about him. He was only increased by 4%. Now he sits at 44. If T. Higgins wasn't on your waiver wire pickup last week, he certainly is this week. Though chances of you successfully claiming him off waivers is slim, since only the bottom teams will reach the standout receiver. Breaking out with the 6 receptions for 125 yards, the young go-to target is now only lacking touchdowns. I expect Burrow and Higgins to connect in the end zone to end the dry spell. And we have Tim Patrick of the Denver Broncos. The impromptu bye week worked well for Tim Patrick, who came out strong. He started in 91% of the snaps against the Patriots, which is a season high. The Broncos made it a point to focus on him too. Not only are Patrick's snaps increasing, but he is also garnering 18% target share. For this reason, I recommend him as your waiver wire pickup for Week 7. And now we have a pair of Jaguar receivers in Keelan Cole and Laviska Shenault. Keelan Cole continues to play his role as a thorn in DJ Chark's side. He also continues to be a solid flex option, especially during these bye weeks. This weekend marked the season high in fantasy points for the Jaguars receiver. He caught 6 of 9 targets for 143 yards. And as a result, you could do a lot worse than Keelan Cole this week. And of course, that moves us on to Laviska Shenault. In light of Keelan Cole's success this weekend, I'd say don't worry about Laviska Shenault. He continues his performance all over the field and possesses the skill to break off big plays. In addition, he continues to see a steady flow of targets. It's unfortunate that none of the targets this week resulted in big fantasy points, but he's still an option, and you could pick him up. And finally, that brings us to the waiver wire pickups for tight ends. Let's go ahead and start with Trey Burton of the Colts. The dust has settled in Indianapolis as Trey Burton emerges. In the last 2 weeks combined, Burton earned 9 receptions on 11 targets. They like him in Indianapolis a lot. They brought him for a reason. The evidence continues to show. Those managers looking to get ahead for Week 8 should look to Trey Burton. And let's move on to Dalton Schultz of the Cowboys. Apply what I said to Andy Dalton to Dalton Schultz. The mystery surrounding the Dallas offense is still murky, but answers will come tonight. Dalton Schultz still proved early this season that he is worth a waiver wire pickup this week. And finally, let's take a look at Darren Fells. The firing of Bill O'Brien did wonders for the Texans organization and Deshaun Watson. Makes you kind of wonder what would happen to Sam Darnold if the Jets rid themselves of Adam Gase's influence. Nevertheless, the passing game lacks the one wide receiver presence that DeAndre Hopkins provided, which means Watson moved the ball around the field to many different players. Darren Fells is a beneficiary of this effect. A touchdown in each of the last 2 weeks, and adding 6 of 8 targets for 85 yards this Sunday. Darren Fells should be a waiver wire addition for anyone looking to stream a tight end this weekend. And there you have it. We are nearing the halfway point. Many fantasy managers are feeling down and out. Maybe you are in the bottom half. Maybe you strung a bunch of bad injuries that have derailed you. But don't give up. Win your championship through waiver wire pickups. You can do it. And good luck. Thank you so much for watching. Which one of these waiver wire pickups for Week 7 are you going to put into your lineup? Go ahead and put it in the comment section below. Is it Darren Fells? Is it T. Higgins? Is it Justin Herbert? Oregon native? Yeah? All right. Well, thank you for watching again. Tell me about it. And then go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you back next week for Week 8.